Hi, welcome to Reise. Reise is a new app that allows you to manage your group bookings efficiently and cohesively in one place. This app solves the problem of all the different members of the group not knowing how to keep track of one another or what itineraries each other person is using within the trip. With Reise, all you have to do is invite all members into one of your teams, and then from that team, you can actually see all of the different bookings that the group is going to have together. So, this app was made by Team Jam, Akuya Abu, Joe Fagali, and Michael Mocha. Let's go through a little demo of the app. So, over here, we are in the login page. You put in your username and your password over here, and then log in. The first page it takes you to is your trip homepage. From here, you can see all the trips that you are a part of: spring vacation, graduation trip, church trip, and Panama trip, and some of the little details of the trip. In order to add a new trip, simply click the plus icon in the upper right. Here, you can just put in a few details about your trip. For instance, now that you've added the trip, it is displayed below all of the other trips on your trip homepage. So, let's explore some of the tools you have with the trip. Let's click on the spring break vacation to enter into the details. Here, you go into a page that shows you some of the details about the trip and all of the tools that you have available to you to use when booking this trip. So first, let's explore the first one, the flights option. This brings you to the main flights page. Over here, you see all of the flight itineraries that people in your group are considering. You see here the name of the specific flight, the price, and a couple of the details relating to the flight. You also see the preferences of the people in the group. Over here, you see 3 people said that they preferred it, 0 people said it wasn't great but they can make it, and 2 people said that they couldn't do it. The different colors in the headings indicate whether the flight has been booked or not. Green indicates that it has been booked with a check mark, and the gray indicates that it hasn't. So for instance, if we click into a trip, we can add our preferences, whether we prefer it or not. So for instance, if I say it's not great for me, the counter for not great goes to 1. I can delete the itinerary if I want by simply clicking here. And if I want to unbook the itinerary, I will click here, and you can see it returns to gray and it is no longer booked. If I want to add a new flight itinerary, I simply click the plus button at the upper right, and I can either add a new flight by the airline itinerary ID, or I can search for the flight right here with the different search features. For convenience right now, let us do it by the airline itinerary ID. When I search, you see all the flight results relevant to that specific trip. So, if I like this flight itinerary, I can save it, and then it appears at the bottom of my flight itineraries. It is at the bottom because all of the different itineraries are ranked by how many people prefer it the most. You see the new flight doesn't have any preferences yet because I just made it. If I want to click and delete it because I don't want to consider it anymore, I simply click delete and it's gone. Alright, if I want to navigate to some of the other tools from the flight itineraries page, I simply click the nav bar over here and then I can see the other tools. Let's go into the hotels. The hotel itineraries works exactly like the flight itineraries in that you have preferences, the name of the hotels, and a couple of details. Since I've already shown you the flight itineraries, I won't explain the hotel itineraries. Let's go on to the next feature. The members feature. With the members feature, this allows me to see all of the different members that are on my trip. Here's me right here. You see all of the different members have their phone numbers and email addresses right here, so that I can call and actually email them to contact them about trip details. If I want to add or invite a new member to the trip, I simply click the plus icon, and then I can add some of the details about them. For instance, I have just invited my friend Sarah to a trip. I can invite member here, and she's been invited. For the purposes of this demo, we will just assume that she said yes. Thus, her information is added to the bottom of the trip. There she is. As a default, her picture is posted as Batman. She can change this later if she wants. Alright, let's go into some of the other options. For instance, deadlines. Over here, with the deadlines page, we were trying to address the sense of urgency that a lot of people are trying to make when they're booking travel, in which one person needs to know certain details before a specific date. So first, let us see some of the deadlines associated with this trip. For instance, the headcount deadline. You see here, it has a couple of the details for the deadline, the date it's for, the members of the trip it's for, and a little bit of a description. If we want to add our own deadline, simply click the plus icon, and we can add a couple of details. For instance, the deadline name, the date of the deadline, and the members it's for. If you don't check or select any of the members, the deadline is assumed for all members. And a description, which is optional. We're not going to put one for now. So let's add the deadline, and it appears right here on our deadlines page. So we can click and we can see the details that we entered. If we want to delete it, simply press the delete button, and it's gone. Now let's move on to our last feature, which is the calendar. On the calendar, you can see all of the different details and events that are related to the booking of this trip in a convenient place. If you see a date with a red dot on it, it means that there are events or actions related to this trip happening on this date. For instance, let's click on the 22nd. We can see some of the flight itinerary information is on this specific date. So we have 2 flights on this date. And it's similar for the other pages, showing you either flight details, hotel details, or deadlines that you have already made. Alright, that's all of our tools. If we want to go back to the trips page, we simply click the trips home. And there you have it. We can log out simply by clicking this button or the log out button that was on the nav panel. That's it. Thank you so much for listening to this demo about Reise. We hope you'll use this app.